Good morning, guys. Good morning there, Balas. Good morning, TJ, Sharif. How are we all doing? Welcome, welcome. Hope we are all keeping well. All had a good Wednesday yesterday, and anyone who has already been training today, hope it's been successful. I didn't really. You can see earlier on we had a very, very strong bearish push. I think this must have been news related. It must have had to do with maybe some late news being priced in, but yeah, very, very strong, just impulse bearish push. Hasn't really affected price too much because we're still trapped in this range. But yeah, let's wait a couple minutes and then we are going to go through all of the stuff. This is more or less how my GJ charts are looking at, or my GJ chart is looking, and then I'll go through gold. Gold's a little bit more complicated this morning, and it's definitely going to require some patience, I feel like. Let me also quickly just check the Telegram and we can go through. I see, Balas, you've put some charts in the Telegram here, so let me just check these out quickly. And Alessandro, I see you have as well, which is great. I do want it to open on this side though. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is pound yen. You have, sorry, let me just check. Good morning, by the way, Alessandro. Morning, Nick, how you doing? Okay, so you have pound yen, you have risky sells below 156.37, so that's below this level. The range there is looking 25 pips, so yeah, definitely enough to trade, and it is going to be risky though. Potential buys above 157, that's perfect. I also have this marked and we do have the clean candles. We are still looking to correct this move down. Currently we are trapped in the no trade range, also perfect. I'd be very careful of these sells below this level. I'm looking for, if we are going to be looking for sells, much safer sells below 155.971. That is going to be a lot safer than taking that. Nick, I just seen your message now on WhatsApp. That is exciting, but just be careful. Sometimes the first one, it's just rule of thumb. The first one doesn't go as well as as well as planned. Let's check the other charts out. So yeah, great chart there, perfect. Obviously, take in mind market structure. You got to be looking at market structure the whole time. And then now it's great to know that you know the exact zones that you want to see moves happen in. So perfect chart there. Sorry, just trying to find Telegram again. We have your gold chart as well. That's where I said gold is going to get a little bit more complicated. It's going to be this buying range over here, this 1879 is going to be a tough one to buy above. I'll show you guys why now, and that's why I've obviously marked out 1881 as a more important one. And I'll show you guys that now based on low time frames. Obviously the potential sells below 1865. I think I also have that marked out. Yeah, so that's fine. There is a selling range there. You'll also have your 30-minute structural flip and a 1 hour structural flip below that level. So that's perfect. Sells below that level. We also currently are just consolidating. You can see currently prices just consolidating between 1872 and 1876, so no point in trying to take any trades at the moment. Just be aware of that. I'm scared, not gonna lie. Yeah, no, I can imagine. So this is when you see, this is what I'm saying, this is when when that real account is going as opposed to the demo one, then it's like, that's when you are emotionally connected with the money, obviously, and now you're gonna start noticing that those trades that you were taking beforehand are not going to be getting taken as easily. So yeah, definitely excited for you, Nick. Okay, Alessandro, you also have a chart. Nice, so nice gold chart. I will get into why those gold buys above that level are highly risky. Based on the 4 hour, they looked alright though. Then we have a chart from Alessandro, which is also GJ. And you can see you also have those risky possible sells below this early level, the 156.400. So the last had that as well, which is great. Possible buy above 157. 1 and 30 minute will flip bullish. Yeah, because we are currently bearish in market structure based on the 30. This was our low created by this point up here. So we'll flip bullish above that level. You can obviously see that once we get above that level, we'll also have some wicks to deal with. But once we clear those wicks, we have clear candles to the left and we are off to the races, hopefully. So I'll be looking as well for those buys above that level. Obviously, we'll have the structural flip on our side as well, and when we have the structural flip, clean candles, candle closes that we're looking for, those are all confluences which we're looking for. Possible impulse trade at 156.535 with London Open, clean candles on the 15 minute. Just got to be very, very careful of that. Yeah, just got to be very aware of that. London Open today is obviously probably going to be a bit of a tricky one. We have 8 minutes and you can see how candles are forming. We're trapped in this range. So just going to be a little bit more patient with that. Got to take our time with that one. But yes, I agree with you guys in saying that there could be potential risky sells below 156.408 around there. Possibly if you want to play it safe, put your zone market at the bottom of this wick, and then you can say anything below 156.363 you have clean candles left. Let's get into gold now just before London Open, so I can explain to you guys why we're going to have a bit of trouble on the lower time frames if we get above these levels. So you can see on the weekly, obviously we are coming above this weekly resistance level. We've wicked down, broken the high of the previous weekly candle, and now we're continuing. The daily, we also completed that retest of that high which we created after forming some support on a level of resistance. So that's your break and retest completed. This is your break and retest completed, so now we can hopefully see a break of this resistance level and continue bullish. That'll be ideal. Yesterday caught some really, really nice gold buys which were fantastic above this 4-hour level. It was based on the 4-hour time frame. Also, we had clean candles on the low time frames as well, so all playing into each other, which was, you know, great to see. We can now obviously start looking at marking out some zones on the 4-hour. Our market structure, we all know, is extremely bullish at the moment, so there's no point in even doing an in-depth breakdown on market structure. We are bullish. Let's mark out our highest point, our most recent resistance level, or should I say our most important resistance level. You can see if we look back historically, if we break above this resistance level, our previous resistance level on the 4-hour above that is up here. So we have clean candles to the left based on the 4-hour time frame. Now that's at 1879. So that was that area which you had marked out below us, and that's what you were saying. If we break above there, we have our potential buys. Which if we get a 4-hour candle close above that level, correct, we will have potential buys. But if we go drop down the time frame, so if we go to our 30-minute time frame, which is where we want to obviously be looking to possibly take some entries, and now we go look left. Sorry, it's just going to take a little while to get there. You can see that we are sitting on a level of resistance. So if we break above this resistance, where's our previous resistance above that level of resistance? It's right here. So for us, it's not going to make sense on the low time frames to take a trade. What we need to do at this point is now alter our zone. So we need to shift our zone so that when we do break above our resistance level, there's clean candles left. So all you're going to do for that is, again, if you want to mark aggressively, you can put it halfway through the wicks. If you want to mark passively, put it right at the top. So literally all you can see when you break above that is clean candles. So that's where I got that 1881 level from, because if we're sitting on that 1879 level, which is around here, and we break above that resistance, we have a resistance level right here. So we're basically going to be selling into resistance, and we never ever want to sell into resistance. We only want to sell when there's clean range to the left. So all I would do is shuffle that zone up a little bit. And then obviously if you're going to mark, you know, if you want to be more conservative with it, just mark the top. And you can see here, where's our previous level of resistance? It's always up all the way up here, 34 pips. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark the top of that, and I'm going to mark it with a white horizontal line. So now I know when I break above this level, clean candles to the left could get up to this level potentially, 1884. So all that's going to require now if we go to current price is wait. We need a wait. If we look where current price is, if we break above this resistance, there's no point in taking a trade because we have a resistance right here. And we have all these rejection wicks. So obviously it's going to be just take a little bit of patience to get up above these levels. And then if we're going to be looking for sells, what I would say is sells below this I'll only be looking for sells below this 1865.32 level most likely, because obviously anything above that is all going to be counter trend. Even if you are looking at this small range over here, counter trend, because this is our high. This is a point which created the high. We will only be bearish below this point, and that's just on the 30-minute. On the 1 hour, we will also be bearish below here. So taking sells below this point will make a lot more sense. So I hope you understand that. That's why I will be looking for only potential buys really obviously I'm going to see what the volume is looking like and also look on the 4-hour time frame, because you can see obviously if we break above this 4-hour time frame and get a candle close above there, then yes, the earlier buys would make sense. So then those 70, 79 buys could possibly make sense, but this 4-hour candle only closes in about 2 hours. So we're going to have to wait for that. So what I would be doing is obviously waiting to see a candle close above 1881. Look, it's very far away. It's about 60 pips from current price, 54 pips from current price. So gold is just going to be a matter of patience. GJ is obviously looking more likely for something to happen sooner. You can see obviously we have our potential buy levels. I still think that based on how we moved yesterday, if we go look at the daily time frame, obviously we are pushing up. We did create that support on a previous level of daily support. So now if we break yesterday's daily candle high, I'm still convinced we can correct that move that we had down. We have also already broken yesterday's daily low, which obviously is now giving us a bit of a mixed sort of outcome here, or mixed sort of signal, because we shouldn't, if we're going to be continuing bullish, we shouldn't be breaking daily candle lows. So yeah, that is something to take into consideration, and I'll definitely be looking on the lower time frames for entries. So based on the 4-hour time frame, we also are kind of stuck in a bit of a 4-hour consolidation, so nothing to really indicate there. We are currently on a level of 4-hour support, so if we do respect that level of 4-hour support, we are also kind of creating higher lows, which is, you know, you always want to see if you do want to see an eventual bullish push. But what we need to do is obviously keep an eye out for this 1 hour and 30-minute sort of time frame. You can see we had a bit of a fake out of the range, so we had our range over here. This 1 hour candle closed below it, the very next one closed back in it, and now we're probably going to come back and retest the top of this range. That's normally how fake outs work. Got about a minute and a bit until maybe a minute and 40 seconds, 40 odd seconds until we have London open. So yeah, let's just wait and see. Not the greatest market conditions right now. Yesterday we did have much better market conditions and it looked a lot more, you know, we had that really nice impulse entry yesterday based on the 30-minute time frame, but we just need to wait and be a little bit patient, and then we can possibly find an entry today. I would say, yeah, based on volume, I would obviously still like to see buys. For me, I'm 3v1 bullish. That's just the only time frame which is currently bearish is this 30-minute time frame. The reason for that is this is our low, and that was created by this 2 or more candle pullback. So we will technically only be bullish above this point. Like Alessandro pointed out in his chart, which he put on the Telegram, that would mean that these buys then again would make a lot more sense, because obviously now we're going to have a 4v0 market structure above this point. We won't be respecting resistance levels, and then we also have the clean candles to the left and a lot of trading range to trade into over here. So let's just wait and see what we can manage to. Chat is very quiet today. Where's my boy Anon? Oh, not these again. I need some more trading stories from someone. Okay, so this candle closed without a top wick. So again, we all know what that usually indicates is that this very next candle is probably going to go in the opposite direction. Or it's just not going to act. Like this, there's nothing you can really do. If you're taking a buy or a sell based just off of this, like because it's London open, that is literally your whole confidence is based on there's going to be volume. Now I'm going to gamble, is it going to go up or down? We are currently in a range. There's no confirmation for any trade currently. I'm thinking that maybe NY session might be where we might start seeing some moves, or maybe in between, because yeah, this is not looking the greatest. nothing to really do yet, guys. No setups on either gold or GJ. This GJ setup, yeah, it honestly is a joke. I'm just gonna type in here exactly what I'm looking for. That's where I'll be looking for potential buys. It's going to be potential very risky sells. And then I would say potential safe sells below here. Yeah. Currently we are kind of in a bit of a no trading range. Based on the 1 hour, again, we had a bit of a 1 hour fake out. I do think that we could possibly come up to maybe 157 flat. We have about, let's see, I suppose that's 16 pips away. It's not too bad. Again though, there's a 30-minute level of resistance right here. So just got to be patient. I'm gonna mark this out as a no trade range for now. What am I doing? So yeah, if you're looking at GJ or looking at what I'm looking at on GJ, I certainly don't think that we are currently in a trading range. Very, very choppy price action. You can see we're more or less trapped in consolidation. If you look on the 4 hour, we currently are in a bit of a 4 hour consolidation. What this does tell us though, is if we do form this 4 hour support at this level, and then on the lower time frames get above this 156.983 level, there's definitely that good chance of that bullish continuation and a retest of, I would say, at least 157.600. And that's where I'll be above this 157.118 level. That's exactly where I'll be looking for my entry is to possibly continue bullish. Gold also, yeah, ranging. If we're going to look at some, I'm just going to keep an eye out on GJ, see how much we start pushing. If we do look at the fundamentals coming in today and are going to be looking at gold or any US dollar related pair, just remember there are unemployment claims coming in at 3:30. That's 3:30 my time, so whatever time it is for you, it's going to be half an hour after New York Open. So if you know what time New York Open is, where you live, it is half an hour after that. We also have FOMC members speaking a bit later on. That's at 6 o'clock, so that's going to be 3 hours after New York Open. And then we also have the manufacturing index coming in. So these are all medium impact sort of folders. You do have to take these, I'd say, reasonably seriously, but obviously it's not, you know, those high impact folders which move price ridiculously, but obviously that's also based on the numbers that do come through. So that's something we need to definitely pay attention to, and I would be wary of if we're going to be looking tomorrow. So tomorrow is Friday, guys. So we are obviously again looking at some medium impact US dollar news, and I think, yeah, there's some retail sales coming in on the pound. So that's at 9 o'clock. Once again, an hour before London Open. So that'll be just before the stream as well. And then we have some more FOMC members chatting tomorrow, much later on in the day. So I'll most probably be done trading by the time all these sorts of news events start coming in. Also very low early volume in London. What I've noticed this whole month about London and the volume that London has been providing us is it comes in, I would say, about 10 to 15 minutes after the London Open candle. So normally it does this for a little bit, where it'll be a very small candle to start off with, and then the volume will come in a little bit later. So not right at the open, but usually, yeah, I'd say 10 to 15 minutes after the open. So that's definitely something to to be looking at. Just checking on the 1 hour. If you guys do have any other charts, by the way, please send them in. Or if you want me to check out any pairs, I'll I'll try manage to do that for you. Just send that in. Let's just reload this. Expecting, like I said, guys, some pretty good improvements on the unemployment claims. So if that's going to be good for the dollar, then obviously, well, that would be good for the dollar if these forecasted numbers are correct. Then that's a good chance that the dollar is going to increase in value and that gold is going to obviously come down in value, because that's always what happens. But we obviously need to see what, rather than the forecasted number, we need to see what the actual number is going to be. I might actually stream this on YouTube. Definitely going to be in Discord this afternoon. So yeah, probably going to do buy stops and sell stops, thinking about it. So if you are feeling brave enough to join me on that journey, hop on in the Discord, or I might even stream it. We'll just have to wait and see. Hi there, hope you're well. Very well, thanks. And yourself, Blip, in your opinion, which is the toughest trading condition for you? When you say trading condition, what are you referring to? Like consolidation? I need maybe some more context there. For me, the toughest thing is just, like, the toughest trading condition is just when price doesn't provide clean moves. You know, we've had that on we had that, I would say, on GJ for the whole second half of January and for majority of Feb. So I'd say since from the 1st to about the 10th of Feb, you guys saw how much I was complaining on stream about how GJ has just not been providing any easy moves. It was all very tough moves because it was either impulses or just no confirmation before the move would happen, and it would just be impulses all over the show. So I don't like that, but other than that, yeah, I just maybe would need some more context to your question there, as in what you mean by toughest trading condition. I'm quite excited for unemployment claims later. Gold's been treating me very, very well recently. What I might do actually quickly is go over yesterday's gold trade. Okay, so I based mine on the 4-hour time frame. Obviously, a lot of people would have caught the same trade based on the lower time frames. It was impulse entry on the lower time frames. But if you're going to be looking at impulse entries, you also want to see on the higher time frames what could be lining up and how you could be looking for possible entries. So if we look at, let me just make sure I have my exact entry. It was 159.83. Okay, so it was at that level. Okay, so yesterday, obviously, this was my gold trade, and I'll quickly talk about this with you guys. Okay, so based on the 4-hour time frame. So what I saw yesterday was we obviously had the clean candles to the left on the lower time frames. So I was definitely at 4:30 around there. I was definitely looking for an entry. I missed the original entries, which came in a bit earlier with some of the news that we had yesterday. I think that news came out at 3:30. What I did was I didn't trade that news, but then what I thought was, okay, if we can continue with the overall trend of the news, then we can kind of continue in that direction. And obviously we did at some point probably need to correct this move down. Now on the 4-hour time frame, you can see what this 4-hour candle did for us. What it did was we had this 4 hours sort of set up. This 4-hour candle tapped into this level of 4-hour support, and you can see the long rejection wick which we left. Now this tells us that price was pushed all the way down to 1849, and then you can see how the candle closed, weak bullish. But what this also indicates to us is that you can see there was a lot of sellers within this candle that got flushed out by the buyers towards the end of the candle. And then what that also tells us, by respecting the support level, you can see we tapped into the support level, rejected it. We need to remember that rejections are when the candle wick is bigger than the body. You can see that is much bigger. This wick is much bigger than the candle body. So we tapped into this support level, broke above the previous 4-hour candle as well, which was very important to remember. I then had buy stops set at about 1859.84. That was my exact entry. Probably got slipped a pip or two. Stop loss was obviously below this current 4-hour candle, which you can see on the lower time frames was also placed below a 30-minute candle. And then, yeah, price just moved beautifully through that area. I think a couple of the other guys, well, I know Velasco for sure, 50 pips in something like 8 minutes. I didn't catch all 50, I didn't end up securing, but yeah, absolutely amazing position. So that was just based on having clean candles on the lower time frames, clean candles on the higher time frames, and then looking for some more confirmations, which obviously you need to understand support and resistance and rejection. So again, guys, it's important to remember that with a rejection, what you're looking for with rejection wicks is that this wick is much bigger than the body of the candle. You can see that was the exact case over here. So what we did was we rejected that 4-hour support, and then the confirmation was how the candle closed. We closed weak bullish, but with this long wick, what it tells us is that the sellers were flushed out by the buyers towards the end, indicating that, okay, now the buyers are ready to obviously come into the market. And then what ended up happening was we managed to correct this whole move and still currently are going up. I didn't leave a runner in overnight, which was probably a bit stupid, but it's fine. Secured majority of my position. I think it was about 30-40 pips. Took a bit smaller risk on that trade as well. So very, very happy with that. And I do know that, I think it was Balas, you said you got that trade as well. You actually posted it in the Telegram. So yeah, very, very well done for anyone who was trading gold yesterday. Just shift that back. Hoping to get another nice clean move on gold with news today. Sorry, Blip, you say yes, consolidation, low volume, high volume, fast movements, slow movements. To be honest, I don't mind waiting around. So low volume obviously annoys me, but I don't mind it too much. I don't find it too hard to trade. Often what low volume will force me to do is manage my risk too much, because what ends up happening is we don't get that push immediately, and then I'm closing half because price keeps coming down due to the lack of volume. But I'd say that the most annoying situation is when it's just tough setups. So that was for the first half of February, or I'd say since 10th, 12th of February, from the 1st, that was, February's been tough when it comes to finding setups. For me, it's been an amazing month, profit wise, but finding those setups has actually taken like proper analysis, proper experience. This month has definitely taught me how important my experience in the markets is. So yeah, if you are new to the markets and this was your first month, it definitely wouldn't have been a warm welcome. A warm welcome would have been last December. How many chances are there that GJ will do something this session? GJ probably isn't going to do anything this session. I think what's going to happen is it might consolidate till pre-NY, and then we might get a move. This is not looking healthy at all. You can see this 4-hour situation that we're in. It's not great. Problem is we have too many resistances. And I'm not a fan. Resistance. We have all these levels which, price can react at as well. So, wrong button. Check out Bitcoin quickly. It's always something to do while we wait for something to happen. Not that I think we're going to get a move, but is what it is. I want to see how yesterday's daily candle closed without a top wick. So that doesn't indicate much buyer's pressure. See, what I was looking at on Bitcoin was how we had this daily break and retest. So you can see this was our resistance level. We broke that, came back down, formed support on that previous level of resistance. So that's your retest. And now we're sitting on this resistance level. If we can break this resistance level, like I said, I think we're going to be going up to at least 46,000. And then based on the weekly time frame, if we can clear that previous weekly wick, we're going to 51,000. That's my my crypto prediction. Gold is trying to come up, but there's no point, like I said, guys, just stay out of it for now. Way too choppy, no volume, not good. Best thing maybe is that current 4-hour candle closes bullish and then enter buys with the next one with the New York session after creating a low wick. Yeah, so GJ, I think we're talking about here, Alessandro. So GJ, I want to see this 4-hour candle close bullish. Like you said, that indicates respect of this 4-hour support. Depending on where it closes though, because obviously if now we're going to close below this resistance level, then we're just going to get trapped in this consolidation once again, which we don't want to see. And then, you know, taking, even if we do wick down and the next 4-hour candle starts breaking up, it could be choppy. So what we want to obviously do is see this close strong bullish. We don't just want to see a close, you know, decently weak bullish. We want to see a nice but strong body, indicating that today obviously is going to be a bullish day. By that point as well, what I do really like about this buys above 157.118 is that means the daily candle would have been breaking yesterday's daily candle high, and it also would have flipped bullish after creating such a big bottom wick, indicating again all those sellers are getting flushed out and that the buyers are currently taking charge of things in the markets. So yeah, that 4-hour idea, definitely a nice one. Just want to see again how this 4-hour candle closes. We just need to be patient with that. Lots of fun watching this. I need a nod. I need some entertainment for my morning. If anyone else in the chat has some horrific trading stories, please tell me. Pips above this point till this point. Tempting, but I think I'm just gonna wait it out. Has February been your most profitable month ever? I think top 2. Well, the fact that we're only halfway through the month, it will be, if I carry on at this pace, by far my most profitable month ever. Because we are, yeah, I mean, we still have, let's take a look here. We still have trading days today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 more trading days to go. Okay, gold is on one. So gold's on a burner. Didn't catch the move, but that's fine. 7 more trading days to go. I most likely won't trade next week, Friday. There's a chance I will, but I might be busy. But yeah, I would say if I can carry on at this rate, definitely. If this month had, you know, the normal amount of days, it would have been, you know, amazing as well. If it had another 2 trading days after this weekend. But, you know, we're closing on the 28th here, so. But yeah, I think that it's, well, at the moment it's certainly top 2. What am I up for the month? Sorry, just checking. I think it's 20 something. 30,000 profit. Yeah. 29,000 after commission. So that's not too bad. Sorry, that's actually really good, not too bad. What did I ask? I said, does anyone have any bad trading experiences or bad trading stories? Because Anon is full of those, and he makes me have a good laugh and passes the time. So if anyone has any interesting trading stories, tell me. This month might be a good month to do a full monthly breakdown. That'll probably be though posted on in the members lounge. So what I'll do is I'll try go back and find the bigger wins as well as the well-managed trades and do a quick recap on those and then post a breakdown. Might also be nice as a YouTube video, maybe. I'll just have to see if I do get around to that. I don't see with me is I don't mind making YouTube videos. It's the editing process. I think I need to find someone who can edit it. But the problem is when it comes to editing trading content, like you need to find an editor who understands trading. So I haven't managed to find that. I have actually looked before and just haven't been able to find a trader who understands editing, because otherwise he's not going to know what to edit and what not to edit. So I think I need to find that. Because recording the content for me is fun, but the editing process is painful. Well, what this is doing is confirming the theory of the no top or bottom wick, because you can see we have just flipped in the opposite direction, and we're probably going to close bearish at this rate. So yeah, if any of you guys know any editors who are interested in editing trading content or would be interested, hit me up and I can have a word with them. Of course, we'll pay. Remember on Newsdays, what we can also get, guys, is, so what I've seen a lot is price will get driven in a certain direction. So now let's say we're expecting some good numbers to come in, and that means that the dollar is going to strengthen in value. What you'll see before the news comes in is price will drive, let's say bullish, for example, so it will continue with the current structure of the market. And now let's say all the orders are waiting at 1884, for example, for those sells, because we're expecting good numbers. Then all the orders will get activated, and that's where the news comes in, and that's when we'll start coming down towards the lower levels based on the news and the numbers which we actually get. And that's if those, you know, the forecasts are correct. So you can often see that on a news day where price will get driven in a certain direction, and then we'll it's just literally to grab orders to then come back in the opposite direction. can find someone on Fiverr. I've looked on Fiverr, but again, like I said, it's very hard to find an editor who actually understands trading and will know exactly what to edit, because otherwise I'm just going to have to sit with them and tell them, okay, I want this, I want that, and then I may as well just be doing it myself. Morning, Pablo, how you doing? Long time no see, welcome. But yeah, I think that Fiverr is definitely an option. Okay. 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 What is happening here? Okay, well, I don't think anyone would have gotten... I don't think anyone would have caught those buys, because that just did 70 pips in a matter of 5 seconds. There was also no news. So, well, no news on Forex Factory, should I say. So I'm not too sure what caused this sudden run, but if you're in it, well done. I mean, price is just pumping right now. $18.90. Morning, all of the current sharp moves down are due to war news. Yeah, well, we knew that the war news was the moves down, but now we're having sharp moves up. So maybe the troops are going back into Ukraine and Russia. That could also be what's happening. Did someone tweet? Maybe someone tweeted, because that's exactly what happened the other day. Russian news. One day they will attack, next day they won't. Ukraine military, Russian occupying forces. Okay, well, if there has been sudden news about now the chances of war happening again, and there's troops that are currently at the ready and all that sort of stuff, then this move definitely makes sense, because then everyone's obviously once again offloading all of their US dollar related sort of assets and all that stuff and chucking it into gold. So yeah, what a move. What a move. This candle in itself is about 150 pips, and it did the 100, I would say it did about 120 of those in the last minute. Insane. Actually insane. Now on Forex Factory there's news. I don't see the US dollar news though. Well, for now anyway. Yep, that's what ends up happening. Absolutely insane move on gold. Good news on the top left of the way. Oh, okay. Yeah, here we go. Well, this says it all, you know. So obviously now there's that threat of possible war once again for the 20th time in the last 2 days. So yeah, just absolutely crazy. Pound has obviously also lost a little bit of its value. You can see we came down quite heavily on the pound here. We are respecting that level of support though. I don't know though, it's very, very risky to get involved in these sorts of market conditions. At least we are seeing volume though. Taking maybe a risky impulse correction sell. Nah. I won't. That is insane though. So there we go. Reasoning for that sudden spike in gold. 150 pips. Absolutely insane. It's also going to affect our 4-hour candle, how we wanted that to close, because now this 4-hour candle's flipped bullish. Bearish, and it's coming down. Not looking great. Obviously, it is a bit of a interesting situation that we have on our hands here, guys. We do have the news which has just come in and affected us. So a lot of our technical areas are now going to be, we're going to have to wait a little while for these market conditions to settle. Maybe give it till this afternoon. The only problem with that is when we have the sort of news that is coming in now, this stuff can come in at any time and cause this sort of thing. So it might be safest if you want to play it safe, just maybe don't trade today. We also again have unemployment claims coming in later. You can see we did tap into the support and somewhat rejected it. So we can now see if we do start forming some support at these levels, maybe come back up to 156. I'm thinking a lot to take some time off from the charts until this Ukraine situation has, like I said, fundamentals like this, where it literally can come out without any warning. I mean, next thing you know, there's troops surrounding the whole of Ukraine, and then all of these. This has a potential to go back into the 1900s. So yeah, definitely safest if you aren't comfortable with trading fundamentals and just these uncertain market conditions. Do take a break, or trade something which isn't dollar or pound related, because at the moment everything that is dollar related is obviously going to have immense volatility. Volatility which you don't see too often, and pound pairs as well. So obviously the UK is involved in this situation. They're trying to also resolve it and say, I think they're backing Ukraine and trying to say Russia must withdraw its troops. So obviously people who are investing in the pound and aren't going to be too happy with that. Euro, USD, JPY, AUD, everything is moving a lot. Yeah. Most things are going to be honest. This is not a very casual situation. I think it's quite... it's volatile like the markets at the moment. I mean, if the bad news continues, I think then these sells below 155.971 could definitely play out. I'm just thinking, with volatility like this, obviously impulse entries are going to be on the cards. Yesterday was an impulse entry. I just want to, when it comes to impulse entries, I want to see that we have a stop loss which isn't going to be a ridiculous amount. So at this stage, you know, that would be a 40 pip stop loss if price were to come down into this range. So definitely wouldn't be interested in that. What I would be interested in is if price did start coming down, let's say we start forming a little bit of a shift down and then we start consolidating at this range and then we get the breakdown, that's where we'll have a valid stop loss level, probably going to be, you know, either just over 10 pips, 20 pips around there, and then it's actually going to give us a level to be able to firstly have a valid stop loss, which isn't just huge, and then also going to give us areas in which we're able to manage risk. So if the candle pushes, let's say it gives us a top wick and then starts pushing down, we can obviously look for areas if price starts coming back up based on the impulse where we can be closing half of our position or whatever position we, whatever percentage of the position we feel comfortable with closing. So yeah, just be aware of that. Otherwise what's going to happen again is we're just going to start consolidating. Insane 1 minute candle on gold, 60 pips worth of a push in that candle. This would have been really nice to be holding those gold runners from yesterday. Those gold buy runners would have been a solid 300 pips. Gold will go up again. Signal called there by Glenn. So if you are taking Glenn signals, I would be putting your buy stops in and getting ready for gold to go up again. That is a Glenn signal. At the moment, just happy to watch the markets and see what ends up happening. Probably got about another 10 or so minutes here, guys, and then we'll call it a morning. I think that this afternoon will be nice to do a New York session as well. 3 times these news came out shortly after the opening of London. I no longer think it's a coincidence. Most likely not, to be honest then. London definitely hasn't been providing the goods, but it seems to be providing the news goods recently. Are we coming up to full this week? We shall see. See, I don't really want to get involved in these scraps, to be honest with you. Like, obviously I'm tempted just to test out this volatility and test out this, but you know, rather just have the discipline, get a much safer move a bit later on. Again, we do have unemployment claims coming in later, so let's see if that's gonna actually have any impact, because if there's still chat about this situation, then that might just be diluted and then it's not going to have much of an effect on the market, because at the moment this is obviously the priority. This news is priority news, so whatever happens here is going to be highly important. Come on guys, tomorrow everyone buy gold, 5 minutes later London open. Yeah, but then tomorrow they're going to say, okay, the troops have been brought back into Russia or Ukraine. I mean, sorry, they've brought the troops back, and then in that case, we're heading back down. I would wait for a bit of a pullback, yeah, but I'm a bit worried, of course, about this news now, because even if we do start coming down, Yeah, maybe we should come down to 1877 before we do anything, but again, that's going to be very fast. Maybe we come down to 1881, retest this level, which was a resistance once, turn into support, and then look for possible continuation. Just letting you know, XJO went up as you predicted. You're a legend. You were so right. XJO, every Aussie money in it. Jessica, I'm glad that my prediction was right. And I'm glad. If you managed to take a buy based on my prediction and it worked out, I'm very, very happy. Alessandro, yeah, exactly. That's what I think is going to happen. That's why it's very hard to... If it was just constant bad news, like they were sending tanks in there, sending planes in there every day, sending something new in there, then I'd say, yeah, let's all just ride the gold news type thing. But tomorrow they're probably going to say, okay, the troops have been sent home back to Russia for a lunch break, and then then gold price goes down and then back up. Actually a nice 5-minute entry here, to be honest with you, but yeah, didn't take it. It's already moved 13 pips. You can see here this was a bit of a retest of that resistance which had just formed. Very low confirmation though. If you guys haven't, please do remember to leave a like on the stream, subscribe if you're unsubscribed. I would definitely appreciate that. Yeah, this thing's pushing really nicely. No entries taken, by the way, guys. Should have. Was very tempted, but just thought rather just wait. How do you cut your losses? Is it really that if we manage risk, we can do this for income? You can definitely do this for income if you manage risk. So basically what I do to manage risk is I have technical areas where I don't want to see. Now let's say we're in a buy. Say we're in a long position. Let's just put it here. I'm not in this buy, guys, but let's just say I was in this buy. Now if I'm in a long position and my stop loss is below this candle, and now we've pushed up this far already. Sorry, we've already pushed up this far, right? My entry was where it is. Let's say, for example, I obviously don't want to see price. If I'm in a buy, I don't want to see price breaking candle lows. So for me, if we start breaking candle lows, that's an indication that there is some sellers in the market. And if we start breaking candle lows, that's an indication that we're going to continue bearish. So what I want to do then, if we start breaking candle lows on the time frames I like to see it on, so normally that's going to be the 15-minute or the 5-minute. At this point, I'll close half of my position. So what that's going to do is, if I start going into loss, let's say I plan to lose 1,000 and I close half of my position, then maybe if worse comes to worse, I'll lose 700. So I've already lost less than what I'm planning to lose. Now let's say we have 2 more areas to manage loss. So we will close half here and we'll close half here. If I was planning to lose 1,000 and I manage that risk properly, I'll lose maybe 300. So what that does is it cuts my losses short. So if I'm only going to be losing that 300, and let's say I do that 5 times, so then I've lost 1,500. And that's by losing 5 trades, right? Then I take 1 trade, which is a winning trade, and it hits my TP, let's say my TP is 15 pips. And that gets me 1,800. I've then lost 5 trades and won 1, and I'm still $300 up. So that is basically the power of risk management. But obviously managing risk is a lot, harder than a lot of people think, and people aren't obviously keen on accepting loss and can't understand why we need to manage risk, because eventually price will come back in our direction. Do you mean breaking its own candle low or the previous candle low? So let's say a good example, a really nice one was yesterday, London open, right here. This was an impulse entry, and my stop loss was placed below this 30-minute candle low, and my TP was, let's just say, for example, somewhere up here. Now I'll go down to the 15-minute time frame, So I had areas where I was going to manage risk below this 15-minute candle low, did not want to see that candle break its own low, and then where the 30-minute candle would flip bearish. Because those are two indications to me that price is not going to continue in my direction. So what was going to happen is once my buy stop was triggered, so that was at this point, or actually market executed it. Once I was in the trade, if price came down to this point, I was going to close half. Price came down to this point, I was going to close half. So by the time price hits my stop loss, which was 11 pips, let's say I was meant to lose 1,000, because of managing risk, only would have lost about maximum, I would say 400. Probably was going to be around 300. So that's the huge difference in that. So it's all about technical levels and knowing where to manage risk with still giving your trade the most opportunity you can. Gold is still pumping. Looks like it is probably going to fall that week. Okay, so Nick says first trade secured profits. Really well done, my man. First trade. Did you take? I'm assuming you took gold buys. But yeah, really happy you secured profits. Nice to see that your first trade on that new account is a winning trade. Obviously, again, guys, I think that's going to be me done for the morning. I am going to probably do a Discord or maybe even a stream. If I'm feeling that good, it'll be a stream for New York Open, and otherwise it'll definitely be in Discord. I do want to see how these unemployment claims are going to do. I'm also going to keep an eye out on Twitter to see what people are saying about the news, and obviously if you guys are keeping up to date with that, please do post it in the Telegram. It will be interesting to see. I also don't know where exactly to find all this information. Alessandro, you seem like you know exactly where to find this sort of news related stuff, especially with the tweets. So yeah, if you guys are interested, join the Discord. The link is in the Telegram. If you aren't part of the Telegram, the link to that is also in the description, so join that. And then yeah, thank you for all the support, guys. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys all for New York, and trade safely. No trades taken this morning, but if you did take any trades, wins or losses, just be happy, and hopefully you manage risk if it was a loss, and hopefully you secured profits if it was a win. But yeah, I will see you guys later, and those of you who aren't in Discord or the stream later, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Thank you very much. Cheers.